Now on to more weighty matters, and of course I refer to Donald Trump's efforts to bring some sort of peace to Ukraine, a final boss challenge for the president who has already helped broker peace deals in a number of other conflicts around the world. Yet instead of being congratulated for his efforts, much of the press is sneering at him. Now I want to play you a bit of what White House press spokeswoman Carolyn Leavitt had to say on the subject the other day.
Thing that has absolutely not changed is the media's negative and downright false coverage of President Trump and his foreign policy accomplishments. From the beginning of this entire process, much of the left-wing media has been actively rooting against the President of the United States in the pursuit of peace. Initially, the media ridiculously claimed that President Trump was somehow beholden to Russia for even agreeing to have a face-to-face discussion with President Putin inside of the United States. The media said President Trump was making a grave mistake by, quote, legitimizing Putin. They were aghast that President Trump would treat another world leader like a world leader. The media relentlessly attacked President Trump and claimed he suffered a, quote, major defeat for not immediately emerging with a final agreement, even though he said heading into that meeting, this was a meeting to listen and to understand how to move the ball forward.
And guess what? She's right. 100% every day of the week. If the choice was between continued killing in Ukraine and a peace that makes Trump look good, there is a large segment of the American, and I have to say Australian press as well, that would rather keep the meat grinder going. Now, it's weird because the same left that once protested America's endless wars seems to be the ones who now want to keep this one going. Here's CNN.
The fact that he feels he's got to check in with Putin right away, and that just as this meeting is taking place, we get news that Putin is saying, by the way, no NATO troops on the ground in Ukraine, that is unacceptable, still feels like Trump needs Putin's approval in a way that's got to be very disturbing to Zelensky sitting there.
And here's Paul Rieckhoff on MSNBC.
Jose, there's no taking a pass on the fight of our time. There's no taking a pass on defending freedom from tyranny and oppression. There's no taking a pass on the slaughter of civilians, which continues to happen. You know, this rhetoric from Rubio and Trump and Vance is shameful. It's un-American. It's a betrayal and a sellout of the Ukrainian people.
Also on MSNBC, here's Susan Rice, the former UN ambassador, if you don't mind, demonstrating what can only be described, frankly, I'm sorry, as plug ignorance.
Instead of doing the things that would strengthen the Ukrainian, Western, NATO, U.S. Partnership on their side of the table against Putin, he is rolling out the red carpet, doing military flyovers, giving him a ride in the presidential limousine, and getting none of what he went to Alaska to get.
I'm sorry, what? How broken is that? I mean, have these people never been involved in a negotiation in their lives? They're so gullible they'll buy the extended warranty on an electric kettle. Seriously. That flyover Susan Rice refers to was a show of American strength. Trump was flexing that he's got B-2 bombers, the same planes that conducted those devastating airstrikes on Iran, and saying to Putin in doing that, without using words, we've got much better hardware than you do, so don't mess around. Likewise, phone calls and red carpets. Do they know how things work? Look, here's the little secret for the MSNBC grifters, the op-ed writers at the New York Times and the Washington Post. For them, guess what? War is good business. Their entire business model is based on Trump losing. And that may be fine in regular politics and cheering when the Republicans have a bad day. Sure, whatever. But what they seem to be cheering on is an endless war so long as it makes Trump look bad, while not reporting on the good stuff. Now, they complain about a lack of sanctions and pressure put on Russia by the Trump administration, but Trump has just hit India, a major purchaser of Russian oil, with punitive tariffs over the issue because India had become a major pipeline through which Moscow sold crude oil to the world to earn money to fund the war. Personally, having watched Donald Trump for literally decades, I actually think he's quite genuine in wanting to end the war, and he is terrified of the conflict escalating to a nuclear stage which is leading him to push a compromise, and which is why the MSNBC warmongers hate him so much. There may also be more to it than that. I mean, Trump even revealed a little bit of his metaphysical side the other day.
I want to end it. You know, we're not losing American lives. We're not losing American soldiers. We're losing Russian and Ukrainian, mostly soldiers. Some people, as missiles hit wrong spots or get lobbed into cities like Kiev and towns. But, you know, if I can save 7,000 people a week from being killed, I think that's a pretty – I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole.
Who would have thought Trump would turn into the peace-loving preacher and the media become the masters of war?